What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man. And in this episode, I want to talk just a little bit about the power of a morning routine or some sort of routine, night routine as well. That's something that I'm working on right now. But I would say definitely some sort of routine. And, the first thing I would say is for the longest, have always been like, oh, I don't need routine. I'm just kind of like this whimsical creature, and I'll just go around and just adapt to everything. You know what I mean? Like whatever needs to get done. And now to a certain extent, that's good to have, right? Like the ability to be flexible and the ability to not have to be so rigid on the structure when it comes to certain things, right? But I've also realized that routine, however you want to say it, whatever vocabulary word you want to use, is an important part of getting better at something, right? So that's it, like getting better at something. And so in the macro sense, right, I'm going to go through it again. Like in the macro sense, just remember influence equals thoughts. Thoughts create emotions. Emotions then drive these actions, which are decisions. And those decisions get us to an outcome, to your present. And those outcomes, they're either moving you forward positively, or moving you backwards negatively, right? So the thought is really just to figure out these things and understand that routine in certain aspects of your life, especially if you're trying to change something, it's important to have something like that, right? Whether it is breath work, walking, journaling, listening to a podcast, doing exercise, and having something like that on a daily, every day where you take 15, 20 minutes, that you get a break from everything that's going on, right? So I really feel like there's an importance to a morning routine, probably a midday routine, and definitely a night routine, right? Like getting ready for bed and things like that. So I want to share with you my routine now in terms of what I do in the morning, that has helped me get ready for the day, has helped me, balance the thoughts, work on the emotional aspect of things. And, that'll be an episode we talk about, emotions in terms of like, sometimes you don't need it, right? Sometimes you don't need emotions in certain aspects of your life. And sometimes you do. And as long as you use it to drive you towards that decision making that will create a better outcome, then you're in it. You're in it. So my morning routine, if I don't do this, I typically sometimes feel overwhelmed, sometimes feel angry, sometimes feel upset. And I'm saying a lot. I'm saying a lot. Let me practice on the ums, okay? That was sort of like an So I would say my morning routine is this. I wake up before I get out of bed. Right now, I'm having Alexa play The Power of Now, which we spoke about in the last couple of episodes. So I get 20 minutes. So 15, 20 minutes, I lay in bed. I do some breath work, some deep inhales, deep exhales. I listen to The Power of Now, right? That becomes my influence, my first influence in the morning, right? Influence, thoughts, emotions, actions, outcomes. Actions are your decisions, then you get to the outcome, right? Influence, thoughts, emotion, action, which are decisions, outcome. So my first influence for that day is I wake up, I don't get out of bed right away. I ask Alexa to play The Power of Now or whatever's on my Audible. So I listen to it for about 15, 20 minutes while I'm doing breath work. I become in the moment, and I'm listening to this influence of thoughts, of being present, right? So the book is about being present. And then, I'm stretching out my wrist. I'm flexing my feet. I'm getting the engine warmed up. Okay. That's what's happening. I'm getting the engine warmed up. And then from there, I'm going to work on my ums. From there, I then do breath work. Obviously use the bathroom, brush the teeth, or sometimes I'll do the breath work because I'm outside and then I'll brush the teeth. But either way, whether I use the bathroom, I drink water, I fill up water, and then I go outside and I do breath work. Now, sometimes I'll have like a tea or a mushroom coffee before the breath work because I feel like when you're taking, mushroom tea and then you have some sort of supplements, and I'll share my supplements later on, but like I've had a mixture of supplements for my day to set me up for energy and everything else based on like the research that I've done, right? So I'll take the tea usually before I do the breath work, because I feel like if I'm digesting it and I'm doing the breath work and I get my blood circulating really well, then my body is absorbing these supplements and everything I took right before at like a maximum level, right? So now I've warmed up the engine. Now I'm just like I'm putting in all the good stuff, right? And then from there, I get into the breath work. I get into 11 minutes of Wim Hof breathing, and then I follow that up with fire breath, if you want to call it that. Really like deep inhales, deep exhales to a point where I hold and I almost pass out. But I'm at a level where like I don't pass out. I just catch my breath, and there's like this moment of reset for me in my body. And that, in essence, is my morning routine. Sometimes, like after the breath, I can feel where my body needs like additional stretching. So depending on how I feel, I may throw like additional stretching or like some push-ups or whatever body movement just to get my body going. And then there's a moment where like my body and my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm ready, you know? And it takes me from waking up to, you know, getting into it. I would say 45 minutes is a good one. An hour. Sometimes I've done 2, sometimes I've done 3 hours where I'm just outside moving my body, feeling good. But I would say 45 minutes, right? Half hour, 45 minutes. You can do a lot in half hour and 45 minutes. And that's when I'm ready to walk back in. So like when I walk back in, I just feel amazing. You know, I feel pumped, and I have this burst of ready to go energy. And not only like my body's feeling great, but my mind is in a good place. You know, I'm not like overwhelmed with whatever I need to get done, because I know I'm going to go do it. I'm going to crush it. And then I'm going to, you know, come back and do this some more later on. So my suggestion for you is, I feel like for anybody, you know, whether you're looking to change something positively, or you feel overwhelmed, or, you know, I feel like a good morning routine for an individual. And again, everybody's different. Everyone's got their likes and their dislikes, but something that gets your mind going. Sometimes I'll play peaceful motivational speech on YouTube, or you know, motivational speech on YouTube. There's a ton of them, and sometimes I'll listen to those like while I'm in the bathroom before I go out, you know. So Eckhart Tolle, Alexa, then some YouTube, and then breath work, you know, obviously my tea or my mushroom coffee, and then some breath work, and then I'm in it. So like something definitely, the first thing definitely before you get out of bed, take a minute before you jump out and either listen to something, you know, get a little bit of breath work going, and just warm up the engine before you jump out. You're like, all right, I got to go. Coffee, shoes. All right, let's go. Like it just gives you a minute, you know, it gives you a warm up before you start the race, right? So I would recommend something like that. Definitely something for the mind, something for the movement, for the body, and definitely, you know, the first thing you put into your body when you wake up is probably I would say before you, like the first thing you put into your body when you wake up, and the last thing you put into your body before you go to bed are probably the two most important things, or food or consumptions, or, you know, supplements that you can put into your body that are going to maximize, you know, how you feel throughout the day, right? I'm working on my nighttime routine, you know, food, dinner, maybe a shake with fruits, some protein, you know, no vitamins or anything that's going to keep you wired up, or, you know, give you additional energy, but really something to calm you down. I also then have a tea and some tea and some honey, and then like another thing of water, because, you know, you're going to bed for 8 hours, so your body's going to be slowly producing and absorbing all these things. So instead of like, you know, having beer and alcohol, how I used to do it, and pass out watching TV, you know, and that's the other thing. It's like, you know, try to, you know, not pass out watching TV, maybe go to bed and sort of do the reverse. Like I'm working on not sitting on the couch and passing out and then waking up and then going to bed. I'm working on just know that it's time to go to bed, get a little deep inhale, deep exhale, so the body's really moving into the state, you know, like whatever the science is behind it, like the waves, we can do research on it. There's a bunch of stuff on YouTube, and this is where I've watched some of it. but it just makes sense logically too, right? Like you're going to be resting, your body's resting and recovering during sleep. So why wouldn't you put something in the body that is most beneficial to you? How do you find out what's most beneficial to you? I start with blood work, and again, this went from morning routine to now blood work, but it's very important at its most logical, basic understanding. We're humans. Here's the blood work. The blood work is going to tell you, if you're deficient in certain things, and then those are the things that you need to figure out what foods, what things. Well, also figure out what you're allergic to, because you don't want to take the food that you're allergic to if there's another food that's giving you the same vitamin and supplement that you're not allergic to. Okay, but you want to find these things out about your body, about yourself, and then be able to do the research and then add it to some sort of routine, aka morning or evening. Definitely probably an afternoon one too. Instead of just going to sit lunch and eating a bunch of garbage, it's like take a walk, do your breath work, and then get geared up again to come back into work to crush it. See, once I get comfortable, I stop saying ums. It's because I'm just talking about it. I'm not like, oh my God, what are they going to say? What should I say next? That's how the brain works. Okay. All right. So the point is just, if you don't have a morning routine or some sort of routine or evening routine, let's work on it. I'm still working on my evening routine, and I'm sure going to start working on the afternoon. So I've conquered the morning routine. Let's go get the evening routine. That's where I'm at. And then I'm going to work during the midday routine. I still do that. Like I'll go outside, I'll get a stretch in, I'll do like 2-hour blocks and then go outside. But I guess more consciously, like I am in the morning and in evening, I'm not really doing that during the middle of the day. But go get yourself a routine, figure out what you need. Something for the mind, something for the body, and some like food or supplements that like it's gonna carry you, gonna carry you through in terms of what you need specifically. That's what I would suggest. That's it. I've been doing it. Remember, nothing changes until you do, and it takes time. It takes patience, and just think of it logically. I feel like most of us understand it, and until you're ready to hear it. You're just kind of like, it makes sense, but you're not going to do it. So just lean on this when you need it. We're here to support you. I'm here to support you. If you need anything, reach out to somebody, and have them help you, push you forward. But if you are working on something, if you are working on a routine, also share it with us, in some sort of comment, and have a great day. Remember, if you're not feeling great or not feeling happy, it's only temporary. Change the prompts, change the questions in your head. And even if you're at a Jedi mind master, level, just turn them off, turn them off. But that's it. Have a great one. Enjoy yourself. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do.